Alex when to shift slides. Yes. How about that? Oh, how about
Yes.
that? Okay. Thank you.
Wait, it's not working. Let's try again. Yes.
And so it is that I am with great trepidation this night to declare that we are to open a study on free will suggests that we have some kind of understanding. And so, at the risk of sounding foolish, yes, here goes. Yes. I thank you for your patience and, yes, your guidance as well. Please, as we have done in previous sessions, please feel free, and I welcome anyone to come forth with comments and also corrections if we are sounding a bit off. Yes, thank you. And so I start with Stephen Hawking, who said, I have noticed even people who claim everything is predestined and that we can do nothing to change it, they look before they cross the road. So it is that we are given a choice, aren't we? We are given the option to choose from given options that are provided. Yes. So this night is about free will, and it for us has opened a can of worms. There is a hidden agenda, yes, that God reveals through his spirits. And I sense it has been a long and arduous discussion throughout the history of mankind, whether we are given option to choose freely or whether we are all in it for a game of chess. Yes, or whether we are, yes, programmed in a kind of fatalistic kind of way. So let us begin and open up the discussion as to what free will is. In its definition, as we can see, it is the possibility to decide, to choose according to one's will, free of any conditioning, motive, or determinant. So this is, yes, an accepted standard of a definition. And I sense already, Jackson, you are leaping out of your seat to comment. If this is free will, then is free will real? And it is that I open up for the floor to comment on. Yes.
I kind of agree with the part of the possibility to decide, to choose according to one's will, but I'm not too sure that free from any conditioning, motive, or determinant, it applies, because I think it could be like, as we are today, would be impossible for us to make any decision without any conditioning, because since we are born in a family with a structure, with, like some things that are taught, we learn through our parents, through our family, through our school, through the community we have been raised, to the society, to the country. So I struggle to agree that like free will, it's something that is free from any of those factors. I think it's part of our free will once we have that into consideration, like, because it would be impossible for me to decide something because who I am today, it's based on who raised me, the culture, my parents, the society, and everything that I lived through. So make me able to maybe choose something or try to choose something, the possibility to decide about something, but that is part of who I am. So I don't see how I can choose something free of any factor that it's built who I am. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes, brilliant. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is a bit relative, okay? Depending on where you can where what you can the context you are considering, the conditioning, the motive, and the determination. If you are considering that just right, and specifically in regards to the will, to the decision you're going to make, then yes, I agree with Dai. However, if it's not specifically directly related with the decision you're going to make, I think it's still free. Then the free applies, because the conditioning may have, but it's a different kind of conditioning. It's like culture, it's like other things that will, let they say, direct indirectly your decision, okay, your decision making. Because free will is decision making. You make a decision at your free will. It's up to you what you're going to decide. If someone conditions you, or you have a strong motivation, still even having a strong motivation for something, you can go differently from what one would say that is the direction. But conditioning a motive and determination, particularly conditioning motive, you can have that in an indirect way, in a less contextual situation. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Me?
Carmen?
Thank you, Carmen. Move over, Jackson. Yes.
Shift me.
Sorry. It's just, I'm not sure where you get the definition, but I think the free will, in my understanding, is that is a possibility to choose without coercion, nobody's interference. It's my own decision. It's my own free will. So whatever baggage I have that direct my decision in whatever direction, it is still my free will. I'm choosing for myself. I think that's, for me, that's what free will is. Anyway, full stop. Thanks.
So what you are saying, Carmen, is it is the taking of responsibility, whatever the motivation or determinant, whatever it is, free will is that choice that one makes, embracing that responsibility. Yes, yes. Okay. Is there anyone else? Yes. Welcome, Roberta and Angela. Yes. It is. Angela, would you like to say something?
Sorry, I was just greeting, but I completely agree with what Carmen was saying. I also think that when we choose something, when we decide by ourselves, we are using our free will. Otherwise, it's something that we how to say, there is some interference on our decisions. So free will is when we just decide by ourselves, and then we have to take the full responsibility of what we do.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And Roberta? Yes. Please go ahead, Roberta. Yes.
Sorry, was having trouble with the microphone. Thank you. No, I agree with what Angela said. I don't have much knowledge to make much comments at the moment, but I do agree that we we have choices that we make, but at the same time, there are things that might happen that could be in our path. So we will make choices according to what really comes on our path. That's what I'm thinking. It's not that we are, it's a bit of 50-50, because if you are thinking you're choosing everything, but you're really choosing what's put in front of you, and that you don't know what's going to come in front of you, what it's going to present, and then you make a choice. But you cannot make a choice about what's going to present to you in the future. It's something that as humans, in my opinion, we cannot choose that. We only can choose what's once it's presented in front of us.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Yes. Louise, are you ready to espouse? Yes.
Yes, yeah. So free will being the ability to choose, regardless of if you're conscious or unconscious, that is a choice, that is part of your prerogative.
Brilliant. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. So, free will refers to the type of decision that is uniquely human, a moral choice. It is a moral choice because of the law of cause and effect, and one takes responsibility for one's actions. Yes. Thanks. Yes. Free will is the faculty that each person has to determine one's own thoughts and behavior. The possibility that one has between two or more sufficient reasons for wanting or acting, and then to choose one of them. Yes. So Allan Kardec asked the spirits, do humans act with free will? The reply is, since they have freedom of thought, the spirits say, they have freedom of action. Without free will, human beings would be machines. So when we go back to the original term free will, it was coined by Christian philosophy in the 4th century. It has traditionally meant a lack of necessity in human will, which is extraordinary. Therefore, the will does not have to be such as it is. It is a mildly confusing statement, but it requires one to step back and to see that free will was meant to be that which is free from will. And then later in the Reformation times, free will was then changed in accordance with the doctrine of the Catholic Church. But free will, it is interesting to look at this, because in effect, it aligns itself with Spiritist teachings as well. To be free of will means that we are aligning ourselves in the Spiritist and in theology as well, to be aligning ourselves with the divine. And in such a way, we are free from our own will, releasing the determinants, releasing our background, releasing all the baggage and the karmic stuff that we have accumulated over lifetimes. We release it all and allow love to choose, being free of the egoic sense. Does this resonate, and does this make sense? Any comments there?
It does make sense. If you're able to achieve that now is another thing. Like it's like jump in the dark. Like just I get it. Like we always talk about that. Like just trust, being like acting love and just trust. But it's really just hard to try to have the full concept. But I understand what they're coming from. I understand the concept is just hard to really grasp.
Yes, yes. It runs along the lines of Jackson's non-attachment.
Yes.
Yes. And with non-attachment, then that leaves the vacuum, allowing for us to quieten our souls and to allow for love to choose. Yes, we will speak more on this as we progress. Thank you. So free will and human behavior it is such an important thing for mankind themselves to, even in the animal kingdom, to know that there is capacity for each of us to choose how we want to be, who we want to be, what we want to eat, how we want to behave. A belief in free will is important. It says for human strivings. People cherish their sense of control over the world and their own behavior. Research based on observation and experimentation show that there are negative consequences with cheating and aggression and fighting. Once this research informed participants that free will did not exist. So there is within us all this urge to assert ourselves individually, and thus we are branded as egoic beings. Yes, yes. So in the Spirit's book from question 122, the Spirits say that free will develops as the spirit acquires awareness of itself. So this is along the lines of perfecting our ability or refining our ability to actually activate perfect free will, to be free from will. And this happens as we acquire, as it says, awareness of ourselves as in our connection with divine light. Yes, Leon Dennis in The Problem of the Being of Destiny and Pain says, the spirit is fully or truly prepared for freedom only on the day when the universal laws which are external to him become internal and conscious due to the fact of his evolution, or for another word, expansion. Yes, awakening. Yes. So continuing on within our awakening to our divine potential, we can see more and more clearly how to shape and change ourselves and the world around us. Proper use of free will beautifies and perfects, because we are releasing the need to force our will onto others. And misuse of free will as a consequence of forcing ourself, our thoughts, our actions onto others, it can plunder and destroy. So therefore, it is uniquely human, a human undertaking to learn how to use free will properly. Yes, yes, thank you. So in regards to determinants, or the idea or philosophy of determination, as a spirit progresses its free will, the spirit takes responsibility for a wider range of choices. So can we click again, please? Yes. So on the left-hand side of your screen, it is the egoic self that creates suffering. So if we are less aware of ourselves being the greater self, one with all things, one as a part of everything that is, if we are in a state of that unconscious light, then we tend to reduce our thoughts and our actions in almost not a primitive way, because that is very misleading, but it is one that is reduced in its capacity for us to act as fully cognitive and awakened beings. So we rely on that which protects us. We are afraid, and so we sit in pride, self-justification, accusation. We confront and we gossip. We separate ourselves and we consider ourselves to be separate, to be individual. And it is so important to guard that individuality. And so often we are driven to being so passionate, yes, and over the top, to protect that which we consider to be our right to have a free will. Yes. So on the left-hand side, you can see egoic self creates suffering for the individual because they tend to, or we tend to think that we are going it alone without the assistance of spirits or a God or friends or a family. We want to prove ourselves. We want to be right. And this stunts, limits our capacity to breathe. It limits our capacity to see with joyful eyes that which surrounds us. Rather, we sit with this sense of yes, it is, we sit in our pain and we look at others and we judge their pain. And we limit our discussion to that which justifies our outlooks on life. As more awakened we are, we tend to expand this diagram and start to embrace the fuller picture. And this comes over time and possibly lifetimes as we begin to explore that which is more expansive, knocking down the walls of protection, knocking down the walls of the ego, and embracing, yes, our brother as we embrace ourselves. And so we look at situations, before we choose, we look with greater understanding. We sit in forgiveness, and so we do not react as much as we would. So often we are so prone to jump in this action reaction, and it goes backwards and forwards, and so we are tired. But the lesson continues, and it will continue, if not in this lifetime, then the next. And our road is long and arduous until we recognize we need to let it go. Thank you, Di. Thank you, Elsa. Yes. Yes. With forgiveness and understanding, patience, reconciliation, the heart to want to embrace the other that has hurt us, to embrace the other that has given us, or that we have felt we have been wronged by, or that we have wronged them. But there is a desire to want to create a greater harmony. And this and restoration, yes. But this picture in its expansive level, once we embrace this on a greater and greater level, then we are flexing our free will. Because we have choices. We have greater choices. If we sit in this egoic self, our choices are limited to that which is sheltering us from harm. And so we strike out. And so we are, yes, uplifted by the expansiveness in our choices. And yet, as we have said before, the expansiveness in our choices really only is reduced to one thing. We actually do away with all that is put in front of us because we are sitting in love. And love embraces understanding and forgiveness and patience, reconciliation and restoration. Yes. Thank you. But there is a place for determinism in the Spiritist doctrine. Let us read for a moment. Determinism is the doctrine that all events, including human action, are ultimately determined by causes regarded as external to the will. So some would imply that individual human beings have no free will and cannot be held morally responsible for their actions. And that is because we come to this earth with a whole heap of baggage. We come to this earth, with a particular physical presentation, with a particular family set, with a particular tendencies towards this or that, inclinations toward this and that. And then the environment in which we grow up is determined not by us directly. It is complex. And so determinism sees that those who are sitting in this place of unconscious or unawareness is not then responsible for their limited expressions, their limited choices. And so often there are those that will commit atrocities because it is all they have known. Do we sit in judgment of these individuals and say, but you had free will. You could choose what to do. But when we actually look into the lives, not on a theoretical level, but when we actually sit with those that have lost their way, that have never actually found their way, there is this extraordinary baggage that surrounds them. There is no level playing field here. And so the laws of free will, of cause and effect, are called into question. Determinism sets the scene for us, doesn't it? Determinism establishes how we actually come into this earth and find our feet. Some of us find our feet only to be shown that it is not the way. And so it is that we welcome the path made for the destined awakening. For all of us, we are destined to an awakening. It is not for us to see this in any other way because it allows everything to fall into place. Destined awakening. So we are all in this trajectory towards oneness, towards reuniting in, yes, reuniting in love. But the process that we have to follow may take lifetimes of experience and learning and expansion through reincarnation. But in so doing, it is for each of us to play a part in the lives of those that are troubled, that are in need. And I would suggest that each of us are troubled, are in need at certain times in our lives. And so it is incumbent upon us. We are given the gift to be there for each other. And it is in this that our free will is exercised. And it is the gift, for it unites us with our brother. And it is a wondrous feeling, not that they will embrace, but that we have been able to contribute to another's awakening. Yes, thank you. So free will and reincarnation. Free will is also exercised at the hour of reincarnation. So as I said before, determinism establishes that we do come and arrive and are born into a certain set of circumstances, and that may determine a lot for a lot of our lives, for a part or quite a substantial part of our lives. But how we come to this earth is important. And so here it states that free will is also exercised at the hour of reincarnation in choosing the family and the environment, the spirit that comes, so you and I know in advance what trials await. But we also comprehend equally the necessity for trials in order to develop qualities, to eliminate its defects. These are not my words, but yes, please allow it for the moment, and to disintegrate prejudices and vices. So it is and has been conveyed from many sources, not just those that have come through for Kardec, but from many sources, that our reincarnation process allows us to grow, allows us to begin again and learn from that which we have come from, and to polish our performance. Performance may seem a bit pretentious, but it is about how we see ourselves as a part of the one. And once we go through this polishing process, we do reveal in the end that which is at the core of each of us, and that is God. Yes, thank you. But for many of us, those that are not in a position to contribute to the decision-making process before we come, there are many spirits that have faltered and have struggled in this lifetime. And so as they approach reincarnation, often it is a compulsory process. And the decisions by Spirit, by God, allow for that person to be nurtured into a new reincarnation. And the premise and the structure of that reincarnation will be decided on their behalf. Yes. In compulsory reincarnations, the spirit does not have conditions to participate in its reincarnation planning. And so it is taken care of. Yes, please.
Sorry, I was meant to raise a hand before I
Yes,
started.
no, please.
I like to think like the compulsory reincarnations is just like parents, raising children, like saying you have to brush your teeth, and children doesn't want to, but they have to because it's important for the grow, and they don't have the idea that that's important at the moment, but it will make sense when they grow and have more knowledge to understand why that. So I like to approach that compulsory reincarnations, because some people say, oh, so you don't give the spirits the chance to think about it. But like, I like to think that as small children, that they don't have the knowledge to do it, so the parents needs to make the decision because they want their best and they know better because they know older and wiser. So they are helping that child to grow and develop as a good and healthy human being. I like to approach that on that kind of making that relation, not making that comparison. I would
Yes,
say.
really.
A very simple way to compare, but I like to approach that way.
No, it is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yes, yes. For we are all a part of the Project God. We are all a part of Project God. None of us gets left behind.
Yeah.
We are all given great opportunities to grow and to experience all the facets of life. There is no place as the naughty corner. We are a part of Project God, and as such, we are conspiring to assist each other to make it work. Yes, yes. And in that, there is nurturing. There is no place such as a hell and damnation. This is something that if it presents itself to you, that you are meeting another who sits in that place of, it's all gone to hell. I am damned by all of life. Then it is for that person as a gift to you. They have presented themselves to you to sit and to nurture and to love and to embrace. Yes. And in so doing, you step together, not step for a while and then leave and say, you're on your own, buddy. Yes. Yes. I love the teeth brushing thing. Yes, yes, I love it. So the topic for today was free will, determinism, and fatalism. So I needed to put up something on fatalism to establish, but it is just a quick note for your reference. Fatalism is the philosophical view that all events are predetermined and inevitable, often implying a lack of control over future occurrences. It challenges the concept of free will and moral responsibility. In short, fatalism, we are all on a trajectory, and each of us will be destined to meet their, yes, their, what is it? Their destiny, whether that is, yes, fate, as you would deem it, or destiny, or however. They are very similar. But fate suggests that we are on a trajectory, a careering course, and nothing can stop that. Yes, yes. Yes, thank you. So the question was asked the spirits, is there from this the book of spirits, is there fatalism in the events of life according to the meaning attached to that word? That is, are all events predetermined? And if so, what becomes of free will? The answer is a bit long. So fatalism only exists, the spirits say, when applied to the choice made by spirits upon incarnating to undergo this or that trial. So they are saying that it is that fatalism exists only in the agreements that were made before we came. Yes. On choosing a particular trial, they delineate, or we delineate for ourselves, a kind of destiny, because we set about or we are assisted to set about, yes, working out a program for this lifetime. Yes. But the spirits say, I'm only referring to trials of a physical nature. As for moral trials and temptations, the spirits say that spirits preserve their free will to choose good or evil and are always able to yield or resist. So they are saying, in regards to moral situations or choices and temptations, that each of us is responsible for our free will. So spirit's influence on our decision making. So how free is our free will? So we touched on this in the beginning. In the Spirits, Book of Spirits, question 459, do spirits influence our thoughts and actions? And this is so important for us to acknowledge, because on a day-to-day basis, each of us are receiving intuitive thoughts, and we wonder where they are coming from. The answer was, do spirits influence our thoughts and actions? The spirits say much more than you think. They influence to such an extent that they are usually the ones who direct you. So this is incredibly important. Do you find your attention suddenly taken to somewhere else? Suddenly you are thinking of someone. Suddenly you are made to feel not enough. Sometimes out of nowhere, you think about a terrible situation, or you are prone to thinking bad thoughts, or you are elevated in your thoughts, and you have no understanding of why suddenly this is the case. This is important. So I state here, if as stated, the spirits usually direct us, then it is not inappropriate to conclude that we really are not as free as we suppose we are. Many of our actions are reflections of the spirit's interference in our thoughts and therefore our lives. So this can be malevolent spirits, those that are with nothing else to do but to create havoc. Those that have too much free time. The spirits that are, yes, not elevated and are ready to cause other people unrest and unhappiness because they are feeling the same. Or they may be spirits that are elevating and steering our thoughts towards the betterment of ourselves and others, elevating our process and our progress, our expansion. So it is important to know that our free will is often not as easy as all of that. And to suddenly say, yes, it is totally our responsibility, sometimes in some tragic way, we tend to blame ourselves and our inadequacies, and we tend to think we are only human because we have such frail and insecure thoughts. Yes, yes. So the question then leads on, can the spirits who direct earthly events have their action hindered by spirits who want the opposite? So we know that the entities that are surrounding us can, yes, inspire and, yes, influence events and creations. They can influence much of what happens on a day-to-day basis. But what happens when the spirits who want the opposite, who want to create havoc, come into play? And the answer is what God wants is done. If there is a delay in execution or an obstacle arises, it is because he wanted it for it to be. So there may be influences of the unkind spirits, so to speak. There may be influences, but it is for us, each of us, to understand and come to a place where we are able to discern what is of love and what isn't. So many of us will sit in prayer. We will sit and ask for guidance. But if we are not elevated in our thoughts, if we are not surrounding ourselves in love, if we are not committing ourselves to the greater project of God, yes, then we come under fire through no fault of our own, but it is a learning process to know who to trust and who to listen to. We do this on a day-to-day basis. We choose to listen to one politician, or we choose to listen to a particular guru or a particular, yes, philosophical speaker, or we choose to listen to one friend and we don't listen or regard another. We are very discerning, but often it is with an egoic sense. In this capacity of free will, moving towards that which is love in its purest sense, then let us be aware that our situations can, yes, be confronted by hiccups, be confronted by that which is inexplicable. We can't explain it. But if we sit in this gentle sense by saying, what is this showing me? How is it that I am experiencing this, and allow for the lessons to show itself, then that allows us to stop and think before we react, before we respond, to allow the breath of love to flow through and to dissolve all that is unkind, all that is unnecessary, all that is without patience. It is given a chance to dissolve before we act. Yes, yes. Leon Dennis in After Death refers to the question of God's will mentioned as a divine plan. Yes, yes, Project God. The freedom of the being is exercised, therefore. So our freedom of choice is limited. It's within a limited circle. On the one hand, due to the requirements of natural law, in no case can the exercise of human freedom hinder the execution of divine plans. Otherwise, the order of things would be disturbed at every moment. So this is all about using your free will to disrupt the work of love. If we are on a rampage and we want everyone to pay for our suffering, we want everyone to understand what we have gone through. If this is too much, then the divine plan will not be altered by your freedom of will or your free choice. We are given a limited capacity to exert our free will on the world. But then, in regards to Project God, yes, the order of things would be disturbed at every moment if we were let to, yes, to roam without any consequence. So there is a plan, and there is a divine structure. Yes, yes, thank you. So that which is seeming fatalism, which is forever placing obstructions in our path or in our endeavors to create something. The obstructions in reality are but the inevitable outcome of our desire to evolve. It isn't about the baggage that we have carried. It is about our desire to unpack that baggage and to let it go gently. Yes. Yes. So spirits are always capable of choosing their own path, and their choices will determine what they will undergo through their present life and in future incarnations. So our free will contribute absolutely to what we are going to experience, yes, in this next moment and in the next moment, and tomorrow and the day after, and in the lives to come. Yes, thank you. What we may consider a misfortune is actually life's events we must endure in order to progress. So we establish our own fate because we are on a trajectory towards love and full awakening. And this is, yes, the trajectory towards free will. Yes. The power to make it better is in our own hands. Sowing is free, harvesting is compulsory. So what we sow is up to us. How we decide to think about life, how we decide to see each other, how we decide to look at life and see it as something that is hell on earth, or whether we see it as a marvelous creation that we are an integral part of. For without one of us, the creation is not complete. So our free will, to whatever extent that we can express it, we are given opportunity to see love in action, or we can see it for ourselves as something that is conspiring against us, and in so doing, creating the hell on earth that we so don't want to experience, and yet we invest in. Yes, thank you. I removed from this slide the word bad. Free will, good and not bad, but unconscious. If it is good, then it sits well. It sits with ease with us. Awakened choices, not good choices, but awakened choices are love and joy and peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control, gentleness, and humility. And those choices that are made unconscious of what we are doing. And this is why we cannot judge those that are in an unconscious state. The child doesn't know how to brush their teeth well. They are unconscious of how important it is to have healthy gums and healthy teeth. But unconscious choices will present themselves with hate and anger, frustration, impatience, rudeness, harshness, pride, rage, and arrogance. And so often we too think that we know better. And so we sit in this arrogant or this unconscious state. Because anyone that we judge is actually there to show us that we are still judging. So we are yet to flex our fullest and purest of free will. Yes. So God leaves to each spirit the decision as to what direction to take so that it can earn the fruits of everything it undertakes. By making use of its free will, the soul establishes its own destiny and prepares the way for its own future happiness. The soul establishes its own destiny and prepares the way for its own future happiness. Because the soul is going to be presented with all the things that are, yes, it is like playing bumper cars. I have never been on a bumper car, but I have seen my sisters and my mum and dad on a bumper car, and they bang and crash and love it. But they find their way in the end going around without crashing into everything. Life is like a game of bumper cars. We actually have to go through it to work out how to steer and how not to hit each other. Sometimes we want to hit each other, and so we do. The bumper cars are fun and games for a while, but to repeat and to repeat and to repeat the same mistakes over and over again, the bumps are trying to show us that it is not the way. And once we pay attention and become awakened to this, then our happiness is revealed. We get the hang of it. So life is not about, yes, about suggesting that you will suffer if you keep doing these things. If you keep doing them, then you will get to a point where you go, I know there is a better way, and you will make that choice yourself. And then in that joy, you will find your happiness. That is when you go, oh, I see. And the joy of love softens your heart. You cannot be told this. You cannot be told. Life is about experiencing. We can if we are ready. And when we are ready, we steer in the right direction, or in a direction that creates less havoc. And then we recognize that there are more things better than chasing each other around a circuit. Yes, yes, yes. Free will, good and unconscious, but never be it in the full tide of progress, in the bitter hour of trial that you and I go through, on the midst of a passionate struggle against forces that you cannot understand. The help that descends from on high will never be refused to any person. And this is your choice as well. If you choose to say, I don't get it, for the love of God, what the hell? Show me the way. I am open to understanding. Show me how to steer my car. You will never be let down. And whether this comes in the form of grace, the form of a friend, the form of something written somewhere, you will never be let down. Yes. If the soul will but remain true to itself, no matter how unworthy it may appear to be, then as soon as it manifests an intention to regain the straight and blessed road, then the providence will send assistance and support to it. So God is with us every step of the way, in all shapes and forms. We are never alone. And whatever our will, however we express our free will, God is with us. So Kardec asks, why have some spirits followed the path of goodness while others the path of, in his words, evil? Don't they have free will? And the answer is, from the spirits, God does not create any bad spirits from the start. They are created simple and ignorant, as we all are. capable of both good and unconscious. Those who are unconscious have become so through their own will, but it is a trajectory. We only are intransient. We will, all of us, at some stage, be ready to embrace the next stage, and that is the weakening of the unconscious state towards an awakened state. Yes, yes. So the study book suggests that we look at these five steps towards acknowledging free will and how to embrace it. Yes, thank you. It is small writing, I apologize, but if you want to look at this later, then please do. Yes. So level 1, self-awareness. Become aware of the choices you're making every day. What you think, how you breathe. Are you breathing easy? Are your shoulders tight? Release your shoulders. Are you breathing easy? Why aren't you breathing easy? It is your choice, your free will to be stuck in a mindset. So be aware of your choices. Life is a constant stream of decisions, but on such an integral level of even down to our very breath. Once you become sensitive to the fact that you are constantly making decisions and choices, you can then monitor them. That is, using your free will actively, not passively. So often we go, oh, I'm not breathing well. Oh, well. Oh, my shoulders are tight. Oh, well, that's it. That's how it is. Use your free will to examine your choice in this case. Step in harmony, because you know that there is a harmonious way. Yes. Number 2, be your own person. Don't accept society's beliefs as their own. Don't accept Kardec's beliefs as your own. Yes. Yes. Unless you've thought them through and agree with them. Live for yourself, not for society. Check your assumptions. Check why you think certain things. Ask yourself why you were brought up thinking about a certain way, a certain thing in a certain way, why you vote a particular way, why you cook in a particular way. Are there other ways in which to explore life, and are there more fascinating ways of looking at things? Don't shut out what is being revealed to you in subtle ways. Check your assumptions and make sure that they are really yours and not someone else's. And if they are yours and not some random spirit who is sitting on your left shoulder, yes, vampirizing you, yes, check that they are yours. Ask if this is in love, and if this is without prejudice. Ask if this is, yes, sitting right with your soul. Yes, thank you. Distinguish between body and soul. Within each of us, a fierce battle is raging constantly. It's a battle between the cravings of our body and the aspirations of our soul. Don't be ambushed by your body. Identify whether it's your body or your soul talking. So this is getting used to habits, habit forming. I normally eat this. Is it good for me? I don't care. We have free will. We are given opportunity to examine on an intricate level, or if you want at this stage, on a superficial level. At any stage, it is okay. But be aware that we are in everyday life is about, yes, free will and choice making. Yes. Level 4, identify with your soul, not your body. Achieve mastery over your body by identifying with your soul. And with your body also include your mind. Your mind runs away with all kinds of scenarios, and you think that it is your mind that is in control, and yet it is not. If you stop your mind, you can actually say, stop it to your mind, and it will stop. When you quieten your mind, you can tell your mind to be quiet. So who is in control there? Yes. Identify with your soul. The righteous talk to their body, their bodily desires, while evil people, yes, interesting, let their desires talk to them. While those that are unconscious, they go with the flow and go, wow, this is life. This is how it is for me. I have big bones, and so I go with that. This is how it is. The question is, who's running the show? Who will dictate what you're going to do? Yes. Okay, let's go. Thank you. So level 5, make your will God's will. The highest stage of free will is not when you ask yourself, what does my soul want? It's when you ask yourself, what does God want? Where is love in all of this? And when that is your prime interest, you will have achieved the highest form of living. You are using your free will to merge with the most meaningful and powerful force in the universe, the transcendental. It is oneness. And there is no choice. You no longer buy into karma. You no longer buy into that which you have come from. Because you release it, it no longer works in your favor. To continue to blame your upbringing, to blame your past life, to blame your parents, to blame society, to blame your former self, to blame your education, to blame the doctors, to blame your next door neighbor, to blame your wife or your husband. You made me do it. No. You choose. You choose. And once you see all of those things that have been, as in your previous self would see working against you, when you see that everything has been working for you, then you see it all as a love project. We are not confronted by evil spirits. We are just confronted on a day-to-day basis by those that are not so unconscious, so conscious. Yes. And so we stop blaming. We stop blaming ourselves. And we stop blaming God for doing all this to us. We embrace the journey and see free will as being one with God. Yes. God asks you, do your will. God asks you, do your will. And he joins with you. Whatever will you choose, whatever you choose, whenever you choose it, God is with you. This is a beautiful, this comes from a Course in Miracles, channeled by 2 professors, yes, that are channeling words of Christ. God asks you, go on, do it. Do your will, but know that I am never going to forsake you. I will always be with you. Yes. And this is an extraordinary statement. For there is no ill will. It is just doing the bumper car thing. But the longer that we do the bumper car thing, we actually sit in a great deal of pain and create that for ourselves and for others. Yes, yes. So beautiful to know that it is not a conspiracy. Yes. Ever wonder if God had any second thoughts? This is something that the course put into the PowerPoint. This shows a God that seems, yes, omnipotent, separate from ourselves.
Reluctant.
Yes, reluctant. It seems almost as if he is, yes. I would encourage any comments on this. Yes, thank you, Jackson. Yes.
He sounds like reluctance to give free will to humans.
Yes. He is suspicious, and yet it doesn't encapsulate the essence of what God is. God is not creating humans. Humans are a part of God.
Yeah.
So maybe the potion should be his shampoo or something. Yes, yes. Pouring it over his head or drinking it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, it sounded because of the level we are at the moment, and obviously we are not alone. We are not the single humans. We are just part of it. However, from the humoristic way of thinking, looking just us and the way we are and the stage we are some creatures that doesn't deserve much how can I say confidence now, much trust.
Yes, yes, yes. Should we trust them? Yes, 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 exactly. Yes. But it is the essence of life itself, isn't it? So that we as humans are given opportunity to explore the nooks and crannies of what it is to be the creation. The complexities of the creation cannot be explored unless we are in it. And as little bits of God, we are exploring it all. And such is the gift. Yes, yes. Thank you. I think there's another one. Yes. St. Augustine tells us, I once labored hard for the free will of man until the grace of God at length overcame me. This is gorgeous. The grace of God at length overcame me. Yes. For there was no free will to be expressed by the individual or for him to fight on behalf of. It was for him to unite. Yes, yes, to unite with the divine. Yes. This, in essence, is the expression of the journey of what it will take for us to find our freedom in our will. Yes, yes, yes. I thank you for your patience. Yes, and I welcome any discussion or contribution. Yes, I have spoken for long.
As always, it was perfect. A lot of food for thought, for sure. Because those are the things that we kind of know, but seems like from time to time we kind of let it slip through and forget about it. Not forget about, but let it just like on the corner and forget about the essence of our free will and the choices that we made. So I think it was brilliant.
Thank you. It is a gentle night when we can forgive each other for everything and embrace each other for our presence in each other's lives. Yes. Yes.
Anyone else have anything to share before we move to the second part of our meditation tonight?
Louise, yes, go.
Oh,
Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you.
I found that intriguing. I love it. I love the idea of free will, but when you look at it, it kind of comes from an assumption of a duality existence, where it's referring to the individual choice, where it's the individual versus the other. And so, because it's like, I choose this, and it's specifically the I part of it, as opposed to the we, as opposed to like the one, the unity that we're all supposed to be like striving for.
Yes.
And I find that interesting, that there's that kind of like that kind of overlap, but it's also like it almost seems to contradict the idea of what it is that we're trying to choose. But then, is it a necessary step on like the path towards unity,
Yes. Yes.
as opposed to like away from duality?
Yes. Yes. In fact, it is. Yes. Yes. Soothing it isn't, but we all get it, that our lives don't need to be so hard. Our physical circumstances are sometimes challenging, as I can attest to. My life is not so easy. But there is a freedom in knowing that there is great purpose and great freedom within a body such as mine, if we but allow for the space for the miracles to reveal themselves. But if we sit in that place of filling it with what we think we should be doing, or what we want to do, or what they should be doing, then there is no place for the breath of God to show us the miracles on a day-to-day basis. Yes. But it is within our free will to shut our minds out, to stop, and to be calm. Yes. Yes.
anyone else would like to share something? Has questions? Talk now or hold. What does it say? Forever you're
Hold your peace.
hold your peace. At least for tonight. No? So we're going to stop recording now, and then we're going to the second part of the night, like our meditation, time for the healing passes, so we can all, keep receiving